Are you about done with all the dog training information out there? You got one person saying this, one person saying that. You got advice coming from every direction, and you're like, oh, could somebody just give me a roadmap as to what to do? And that's why I have this here today. I've put together a guide, what I call the Dog Owner Survival Guide to avoiding the traps, uncovering the truth, and getting the best results and value from dog training. So we're going to go over 8 costly misconceptions about dog training, 4 ways to get the best results and value, 9 questions you should ask a trainer before you hire them, and 1 big red flag you can't afford to ignore. So the idea here is I can arm you with information so that you can make the most informed decision for you and your dog and save you time, money, and aggravation. So let's get into it. Be sure to hold on to the end of the guide. I have a gift for you worth over $100 because I've learned an informed person and a researcher makes a great client, and I want to offer that to you. All right, costly misconception number 1. My dog needs training. What? That's a misconception? Isn't that why I'm talking to you? Yep. It's the wrong way to look at it. I know dog training gets looked at like something you just get for a problematic dog and some behavioral issues or maybe obedience. Or you think, well, surely if I can raise kids or I grew up with dogs, I should be able to train any dog. But it's not an accurate comparison. Think of it like this. We don't call it kid training, we call it parenting. We probably shouldn't call it dog training. We should really call it dog ownering, because 90% of what I do is train people, right? The best way to look at dog training is like this. See it as a foreign language you need to learn, because your dog is just talking to you and treating you like you're a dog. That's as far as their brain goes. The next problem is you're trying to talk to it, train it, and put psychology on it like it's a human, right? So we have 2 languages trying to have a conversation. Nobody knows what's going on. So you in dog training are saying, okay, since I have the bigger brain, I have to learn your language in order to teach an animal how to respond to me and live in my home the way I want them to. So it's really just a skill. And my job is to help you build that skill, learn that language, and I promise you, everything I'm going to show you, somebody to show me. I wasn't born with a gift. This mindset change is the biggest first step. And the people who admit this to me up front, that they need training, my most successful long-term clients. So step up and take the accountability. Costly misconception about dog training, number 2. This is a 2-parter. One is people will say, you should wait till your dog's a year old before you start training. And the other half is, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So let's start with the first one. You should wait a year to start training. If that same person said to you, don't teach your child anything till it hits 5 years old and goes to kindergarten. That sounds like a horrible idea. Same thing with your dog. As soon as you get your dog, it's learning. So make sure that you're teaching it the right things. So what's the best age to train? As soon as you get it. Whether the dog's 8 weeks old, 8 months old, 8 years old, whatever it is. Be proactive, get in front of it, and prevent a lot of unwanted habits and behaviors from starting up. Now the next part, can teach an old dog new tricks. Yeah, you can, right? I've worked with clients who had dogs as old as 11 and 12 years old. As long as they're healthy, we'll do the training, right? So think of it this way. Let's say you won a cruise and you're gone for a month and your dog had to stay with somebody. That dog would have to adapt to that new environment and the new people and dogs, whoever else is there. So if it can adapt, it can learn, right? So get in front of it. I'm pretty sure that saying, can't teach an old dog new tricks, was invented by somebody who's smart but didn't want to learn something that they didn't like. Like my mom, right? Love you, Mom, but she ran a psych ward with Sirhan on it. Yep, the guy who killed Robert Kennedy. And she also tutored college-level trigonometry and calculus. But can't put attachment on an email to save her life because she's convinced the computer hates me. I'm like, Mom, machines aren't sentient yet. So don't wait. Don't wait till it's older. Don't think it's too old to train. Get in front of it. As soon as you get the dog, start, because that communication, that language is starting already. Get in front of it, get it done, and save yourself time and money by not waiting for behaviors to evolve. Costly misconception about dog training, number 3. This has to do with training methodology. A lot of people will say only go with somebody who uses positive reinforcement. Then you have other people who say you need to get somebody who will put your dog in his place and let him know who's in charge. Okay, so all trainers are going to use what we call the quadrants: positive negative reinforcement, positive negative punishment. Now, where it gets confusing is positive has been sold as good and negative has been sold as bad. But it's scientific nomenclature. So positive really means addition and negative really means subtraction. So, and reinforcement means I want to see it again. Punishment means I don't want to see it again. So I'm either adding or subtracting to see something repeated, or adding or subtracting something to not see it repeated. Now that's the tool. The biggest thing you want to worry about is the technique of that tool and the timing, because using any one of those, you can ruin a dog. And you go, really? Positive reinforcement? Yeah, you can use it like sit, they do, yes, food. Okay, I gave you something to see that behavior repeated. But you can also ruin a dog if it's nervous or fearful and barking at a kid, and you try to go, hey, watch me, food, hey, good boy, yes, 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 trying to get them to stop. You just paid that dog to bark at that kid, thus you've reinforced the behavior, right? Same thing with any of the other ones. If the tool is used with the wrong technique in the wrong time, you will exponentially make the behavior worse. So, well, what do I do with that, Jeff? Who do I look for? The first thing is you're going to want to make sure that whoever you work with does some type of comprehensive diagnostic evaluation where they look at your dog and learn more about its unique drive, temperament, and personality, how they react and resolve, and how well they learn and retain. And then based on that, they create a program for that dog, a customized program like I do for my clients, and it's all laid out on how we're going to do it. Because it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. That'd be like saying every kid learns exactly the same in public school. I know I didn't. I'm sure many of you didn't, right? So it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. You got to tweak it here, right? Because your dog's spirit should be complemented by the training and obedience, not broken by it, okay? So make sure that whoever you're working with understands that and is also going to take the time to do an evaluation, which I do with my clients, and I'll get into further in the guide. Costly misconception about dog training, number 4. Classes, board and trains, private sessions. They're all the same. It just depends on how much you want to pay. Maybe. But think of it, there's a couple things you want to consider. One, there's a cost to time in ratio, meaning the more it costs, the less time you have to put in as the owner. The more time you have to put in as an owner, the less it costs. Some other things to think about. What would be the best learning environment for my dog and I? And where do I think personally I would get the most value from dog training? So what I'll do is break down the pros and cons of each. So let's start with board and trains. The pros, they take your dog, you don't have to do the work, it's gone for 4 to 6 weeks, and that's really how long it should be to get the best results. And you'll be amazed. You'll be like, is this the same dog? This is amazing. And if you work with a trainer who will spend time with you afterwards, showing you how to maintain the dog, and you work it 20 minutes a day, I think for 30 days, that transition takes, the dog does well, now you got what you want, right? And if you're a busy professional, or and time is your most precious commodity, or you have a dog with some scary behavior issues you're not ready to handle, that can be a great option for you. The cons will be, of course, it's going to cost the most, right? Also, the cons can be, you're really going to miss your dog, right? So think about that. And another con can be if the trainer you're working with doesn't spend the time with you afterwards, or you just don't do the work from the transition from the trainer to you, the dog will go right back to the way it was. You're just out thousands of dollars. Classes. So the pros, definitely the cheapest, right? It meets the same time every week, so you know when it's going to be. They tend to meet on Saturdays, so that can be convenient. If you're a person who needs little instruction, you can just pick up the ball and run with it, and you don't have a dog that's reactive, this can be a very cheap, easy, good option for you. And it's a set amount of classes, right? The cons are going to be, we talked about that language, right? You're learning it in an arena during a rock concert. Lots of distractions. If you have a dog that's reactive or fearful, it's going to feel like damage control the whole time. If you're uncomfortable learning and making mistakes in front of complete strangers, this can be very, very difficult for you. And a lot of people just kind of feel like, oh, it didn't take, I tried, whatever. So keep that in mind. And also you have to do the most amount of work with the least amount of help. Now, the last one is private sessions, which is what I offer, so I'm going to sound biased here, of course. The pros are, I come to your home. Yay, you don't have to go anywhere, right? I come to your home, I'm working with you. It's more individualized, privatized attention. It's like, learning that language with a one-on-one tutor at your home. You get to see me work the dog and go, oh, the dog can do it. And then you learn it too. The cons would be, of course, it costs more. And you do have to put in work. I tell my clients, we got to keep the hourly appointment once a week. And then you have to work on those things 15 minutes twice a day, every day. So you want to consider all those things. But again, going back to the three things, think about cost to time in ratio, what's the best learning environment for my dog and I, and where do I think I would get the most value from dog training. Costly misconception about dog training, number 5. Get the dog spayed or neutered, and it will calm down and stop all the bad unwanted behavior. Nope. No, it won't. Now, before everybody gets upset, I am not starting a conversation about whether you should or shouldn't and when you should spay or neuter your dog. All I'm saying is if you go to do it exclusively to fix unwanted behavior rather than contact a trainer, it's not going to fix it. Most of my major behavior modifications, bite cases, aggression, all of those dogs were cut years before they contacted me, right? What fixes behavior is showing the dog a better way to get what it wants, not de-gonading the animal. And here's another thing. If it worked 100%, I wouldn't have a job and you wouldn't be watching this video right now. So don't wait to get the help you need. Costly misconception about dog training, number 6. He's got a lot of puppy in him. He'll grow out of it. That'd be just like saying, I'm going to wait for the ocean to save me from the waves. I wouldn't recommend that. But I heard the same thing. When I was a kid, I was 7 years old, we got a Brittany Spaniel named Rusty. He was 10 months old, wide open. He would constantly get out, chase the paper boy, knock over the lady's bird bath. I mean, he was wide open. And everybody told me the same thing. Oh, he'll grow out of it. And he did after 8 years. But even then, it was only due to arthritis in his knees. But after about a year or so of having him, my mom and I went to dog training classes, and we fixed the behavior, and he was a really good dog, But like I tell people, if puppies grew out of behavior, and if spaying or neutering them calmed them down, I wouldn't have a job, and nobody would get a puppy, right? Everybody would just go to a rescue or a shelter or a breeder and get a 2-year-old dog that was clipped, and there'd be no such thing as dog training. So, don't wait for the dog to grow out of the behavior, because what he's actually going to do is grow into it. Costly misconception about dog training, number 7. My dog is lonely. I'm going to get him a friend to calm him down so he won't be so destructive and hyper. Can I get a Ric Flair? Woo! This might be the most costly misconception. And it starts with this principle. The fastest trainer for a dog is another dog. So if you get a second dog hoping it'll fix the first one, what will actually happen is dog number 1 will teach dog number 2 all of its habits. So I had a neighbor who got a dachshund, and it would get out of the fence and dig graves in his backyard and tear up the lawn furniture and knock over his beer and drink it. He thought the same thing. I'm going to get another dog to wear this one out. I said, please, man, let me help you out. He didn't. He just got a second dog. Now he has 2 dachshunds that dig out. He's got 2 dogs that dig graves in his yard, tear up lawn furniture, and knock over twice as much beer and drink it, right? So, if you want 2 dogs because you personally do, go get it. But if you're trying to do it to help the other dog, you're going to have 2 dogs doing the same behavior, and most of the time, the second one is arguably worse and more intense about those behaviors than the first one. Costly misconception about dog training, number 8. My dog came from a rescue, a shelter, or an abusive past, and we don't know what happened to it. He just needs a loving home. So if love and feelings of guilt were all that it took to fix a dog's behavior, that would be great. But if it were true, I wouldn't have a job again, and you wouldn't be listening to me right now. Now, I recognize that there are people who have mistreated dogs in this world, and it infuriates me. But I'm also glad to know that there are people in this world like you who have good hearts that are willing to take these dogs and make them a part of your family. That's amazing. But what happens is people hope that their rescue dog will just come around, right? Or worse, they unintentionally enable these behaviors by not doing anything because they don't know what the dog's past is. And so what this turns into is we start to create stress in the home, with the family, with marriages and relationships. And all too often, people start to separate the dog from everybody and everything. Or they go, okay, this behavior's gotten to be too much, we just need to rehome them. And worse yet, some people go for euthanasia. These are costs that cannot be calculated, right? What your dog needs, regardless of background, is security from you, structure, and clear communication. They all need that. So don't get caught in the trap of giving my dog what I want them to want. Give them what they tell you they need, which again is security, structure, and that clear communication. Because that's also love too. 4 critical steps to getting the best results and value from dog training. Number 1, make a commitment to you and your dog to getting yourselves trained. And don't wait for the perfect time. You know, people are like, oh, when the kids get out of school, when they're back in school, when the holidays are over. There's never going to be a perfect time. There's this great quote: perfectionism is really just procrastination masquerading as quality control. So make that commitment. You and me, buddy, let's get this done. Because I'm ready to start enjoying your behavior and getting compliments from passersby, as opposed to having to excuse your behavior. So get after it there. Number 2, list out your training goals and issues and be specific. All too often people call me and go, I need my dog to listen. Okay, what do you want him to listen to? You know, when I tell him to do stuff. Like what stuff? You know, like listen. Okay. My definition as a trainer of 15 plus years and yours might be volumes different. Now, I'll sell you the moon, but you might be looking for a cloud. So you want to be specific. So here's some things that you can do. Write down, what do I want my dog to specifically be able to do? What do I want them to not do? Where do I want to be able to take my dog and do these things? And you can even have a vision of what your dog completely trained looks like. This way, when you meet with a trainer, you can share that with them so they know exactly what you want to work on. So when they create that program, it's geared towards what you want to do. So you don't get sold way more obedience or whatever training than you want with a higher price tag. Number 3, get your dog evaluated before starting a training program. So you want them to look at the dog so they can know more about their drives, their temperament, their personality, their ability to react and resolve, their ability to learn and retain, all of those things. So as they're putting that program together, it becomes more tailored and more customized to what you specifically want to do and what's going to work the best for your unique dog. Number 4, ask questions. Ask the trainer questions. The way you learn about a trainer and a business is by asking questions. And what I'm going to do is give you 9 questions to ask a trainer before you hire them. Here's 9 questions you should ask a dog trainer before you hire them. Number 1, what methods or methodology do you use? Now, we had talked about this previously, but this gives you an idea of where they're coming from and how they do things and if you're comfortable with it, right? Number 2, do you offer a comprehensive free diagnostic evaluation of my dog before starting a training program? Number 3, what specifically do you evaluate? Ask about that. Number 4, tell me about your experience in dog training, right? This is always a good little background thing to see if you like them, right? Do you have any testimonials or references I can look at? Now, I know a lot of us are going to do this ahead of time by looking on Google and whatnot, but this could be something good to ask in person. Because I don't know about you, when I ask somebody a question and I hear Google it, I instantly hear the road dog Jesse James from DX going, I got 2 words for you. So that kind of shows how they should handle things. Are you or have you been an evaluator, judge, certifying agent, competitor in dog training? Right? That could be a good question to ask. How are you going to set me and my dog up for success in training? Right? So are you providing videos, emails? Like, what's the deal? How will you teach me to be the leader my dog wants and needs? Okay. And the last one, do you have a foundation in your training program of focus and engagement? Now, not many trainers do this. I definitely do, because I found if a dog is super engaged and is focused on you, can't wait to learn the next thing, everything else we teach speeds up. It also helps us remove food rewards at the end, so you're not having to carry around a fanny pack full of food for the rest of your dog's life. So ask those 9 questions, see what the vibe is, see if you get good answers, and that'll help you determine, is this the right dog trainer for me? Now I want to talk to you about a big red flag that you need to look out for when you're looking for a dog trainer. And it starts with an old saying in this business. The only thing that 2 dog trainers can agree upon is what the third one is doing wrong, right? Now, it's kind of a funny saying, but unfortunately, talking poorly about a business in the dog training business is all too prevalent. And this goes for any business in general, but they really shouldn't be talking poorly about each other. If they do, ask yourself these 2 questions. Why do they feel the need to say this in front of me? And what do they possibly hope to accomplish? So be sure to look out for that big red flag. One more point. Before I got into the dog training business, I was very skeptical about trainers and how training worked. So besides dedicating my business to helping educate dog owners to the best of my ability, I do one more thing. I guarantee my work, okay? So what I have is the no BS guarantee. And what it states is, if after the 3rd session of our training program, if you've been doing what I've told you to do and you don't see results, or you just think I'm a horrible person to work with, I will refund your money. How much easier could it get than that, right? So actually, you know what? Make that question number 10 when you talk to a trainer. Do you guarantee your work? It's important to ask this question because some places do, some places have something different. So definitely find that out. Ask if they got a guarantee. As promised, here's your free gift worth over $100. If you go to SCK9Academy.com, that's SC, letter K, number 9, Academy.com, and you can call me and leave a voicemail, or text me, or email me, or even use the opt-in form. And all you have to say is, I want my $100 free gift. If I get that from you, I know you're an informed consumer who does their due diligence, and this will entitle you to a free test drive of my 5 secrets of dog training. So I will come to your home, depending on location, Columbia, Lugoff, Elgin, Camden, Irmo, Lexington, Blythewood, that general area. If you're in that area, I will come to your home for free, and I will demonstrate these 5 secrets of dog training. So here's what your dog is going to learn. We're going to go over how to stop the jumping, play biting, nipping, mouthing, that sort of thing, how to have a calmer dog and a relaxed dog during feeding time, stop the bolting out the door, going crazy in the crate to get out. I'll show you how to have a calm dog to get out. Other boundary stuff like with furniture and things. We'll also give you a formula so that you can learn to plug and play and figure out and diagnose behaviors on your own. Because I'd rather teach you how to fish than just give you a fish, right? And much, much more. This also, as a bonus, I will do a free diagnostic evaluation on your dog. So I'll learn more about their drive, temperament, and personality. I'll see what you want to work on, and I'll put together a whole program based on what you want to do, where you want to be able to go and do it, and what's going to work best for your unique dog. And I email that to you. In addition, I'll give you a printed copy of what we just went over. So this way you get to meet me, see how I train, get some results, get a custom program, and then decide if I'm somebody you want to work with. Okay? So just contact me, any one of those ways I mentioned, and ask for your $100 free gift. So I thank you for your kind attention. I'm Jeff with the SC Canine Academy, and I'm dedicated to transforming your dog into a calm, controlled companion that listens to you. Thank you. Take care.